Welcome to the meeting. So this meeting is OpenSSF community meeting, so all the policies, contact policies are applying. It will be recorded and posted online. So if you're not comfortable, you can drop off or turn off your camera and mic. So we don't have too much on the agenda today. So Ruben, you want to show licenses?
Yeah, it was something that I've been working on, and I would appreciate some feedback and concerns that I might have oversaw and not be aware of. So let me quickly share my screen and explain with the example how it works. You will quickly get it.
Hey Ben, I just get the meeting started. So
all right.
I can see it. Sorry, not used to share screen here.
you might need to be okay, you're there. Cool.
You see the report?
Yep.
Or what do you see?
We see your Chrome tab.
You see everything. Okay.
Everything, yeah.
How come I don't see? Okay, this is one. Okay. No, not yet. No. No. Okay. Sorry. So the thing is, if you remember when I introduced the dependency analytics report, what we generate in the IDE or the client side is an SBOM, CycloneDX SBOM, that is sent to the dependency analytics backend, and then it will query Trustify, the configure Trustify endpoints. In this case, I have the Red Hat Trusted Profile Analyzer instance that we provide to the IDE users. I've been working on this part here where it will scan all the dependencies in your project and query the depsdev API for all the dependencies that you have in your project using the package URL and retrieve the license information. As you can also provide in your SBOM, because you can scan your own SBOMs that you generated with your own tools, you can also scan for the vulnerabilities. We will also be extracting this license information from the SBOM so that you can compare. And in this case, we can see that we have different SBOM, different license definitions, depending on the information that is available on depsdev and the one that your SBOM is reporting. We can see this information down below in these two tabs, where we will see that the ones that have this yellow shield means that are deprecated. And if we expand, so we will see the details about the license of this dependency. The concept of concluded and evidences is part of the SBOM, the CycloneDX specification regarding which licenses we have found in different places and which one we conclude that is the one that should prevail. In this case, for the one that the SBOM is reporting, we can see that is this this deprecated format that we can also see in the one that is reported by DevStev, but is the same license, but with the non-deprecated format. And we can see here that it declares, we have found two different licenses in DevStev. This one that is that has an exception, and this one that is non-standard. We have concluded that this is the one that you should take for the good one, based on the list permissive. So if we have two different ones and we don't have the and condition in the expression, we will take the list permissive. And we also show the status if it's OSI or Free Software Foundation approved. Another thing that I'm working on is to also show that the license that you provide in your SBOM for your root components or for your project conflicts or has conflicts with the licenses that are included in your dependencies. Because if your project is an Apache 2.0 and you have more restrictive licenses, you might need to update your license and use a different license. What do you think? Any questions or feedback on what you saw? No? Okay. I'll stop sharing.
Good stuff. Thanks, Ruben.
Oh, sorry, my mic was off. I really like the license resolution stuff. I think that was super cool.
Thanks. So I took I saw in different sources that how to categorize the different licenses in the permissive, weak copyleft, strong copyleft, and there are many different categorizations. So I'm not sure if I can just put this information there, or it will have some legal implications, or if I have to put some disclaimer saying that all this information is coming from this and there. This is what I'm trying to do, saying that this is coming from the SBOM or DevStep, but for the categories, I'm not sure if I'm doing it right.
I wouldn't be too concerned about that. Most of the categories are going to be pretty straightforward, and they don't have, like, the category itself doesn't have any legal meaning or anything. I think at this point, for most existing licenses, there's a general consensus on which bucket they fall into. So, like, for Kusari's commercial product, we basically just have a hard-coded list of the most common licenses by bucket. So we, when we see something that's not on there, then we add it to our listing. But
Okay.
I think it's valuable to present to users, and you can always fix it if it is wrong. But
okay, yeah, this is what I did. I added a configuration file, and for the exceptions, I added a constraint that it will go from strong to weak, depending on some exceptions that they have. Okay, thanks. Thank you.
Do we have any other topics today?
Not a topic per se, but just a update. thanks so much to Gagan and Brent for for the PRs. CI is fixed. Green Tech, thank you so much. I appreciate the patience there. If there's are there any bugs that any issues or PRs that need some of the attention that you like to flag?
Yeah, the bugs related to the pipelines are mostly fixed. Probably there's an issue with the end-to-end test flakiness, uh, but I don't think we can do anything much about that.
Yeah. I think the end-to-end test, we've removed it from requiring to pass CI too much. So I think that's for now, it's not in the critical path.
And I had a question regarding the number of issues which are there in GOG. A couple of them are already resolved. If I see the PRs linked to the issues, they are already raised and they're closed as well. But the issues are not closed. Is there something we can do about those issues? They're open, but they're already resolved, a couple of them.
That's interesting. I think the PR was set up correctly. It was supposed to close.
Like not with the recent ones, but the older ones, say the ones raised in say 2023, 2024.
Okay, all right. I see. I think we probably have to go through and do a triage. If you do see anything on that, I think just ping and then we can close it. I think we are due for another round of like contribution letter stuff and like promotions. And I think like you and Brent has been doing a lot, so I think we can talk about potentially giving your triage access as well, so you can help out with that.
Yeah, sure. And there was this one PR on the hem charts that we discussed last time. And it is, you had approved it as well. It is due for March.
Okay, does it? Is it? Um,
I've sent the PR link on the.
yeah, I think we need one more. We need one more approval. So let me ping this to path. Yeah, we require two approval. So I'm gonna ping path and see what I can review it. All right. Yeah, I just pinged him. So once he approves it, I think we can merge it. I don't think I have anything from my side. I think if we don't have anything else, shall we call it and get some time back?
Sure thing.
Awesome. Sounds good. Have a good one.
Yeah, folks.
Bye bye. Take care.
Bye.